at 0830 hours. Maintenance needed in sickbay. Repeat, maintenance needed in sickbay. The shuttle to Saturn will leave at 0830 hours. The counseling staff is hosting an open house at 12:30 hours. Raktoshino and light refreshments will be available. Security teams, report to Docking Bay 6. Transporter technician to room 1232. The shuttle to Saturn will leave at 0830 hours. You are cleared for docking.
The High Command is still intact, and Kronos remains unconquered. Even so, this war cannot be won if we lose Earth. The Borgescu will fight until she can fight no more, as will I. If this is to be our end, then I will meet it with blade in hand and blood in my teeth. I can ask for no greater honor than to fight beside an ally who has shown this courage time and again.
Glad you're here. We've been fighting non-stop and it feels like we're barely making a dent. Command says we're preparing for our last chance. I hope they have an ace up their sleeve, because I can't see a way to defeat the Iconians in a straight military battle. Whatever happens, just remember that you'll always have the Enterprise at your side.
All these years of pain and strife, and it comes to this? I cannot believe that this is how we will end. Our suffering, our struggles cannot be rendered so meaningless. You know what we have been through. This bitter taste, this grief that washes over me, cannot be the last thing that I feel. We will rise again from this. We must.
We have defeated one Iconian, but the cost to do so was too high. The Iconian forces are too numerous for us to sustain such a strategy. We have been forced to our last resort. The Krinim time ship has been modified, and we can use it to generate a portal to send us back to the ancient time of Iconia. Once there, we must prevent any Iconians from escaping the destruction of their home world. If necessary, we must kill the remaining Iconians ourselves.
We presumably failed at temporal incursion, changing things in the past while remaining in a bubble of temporally shielded current time. This allows the timeline to unfold as it will, almost randomly. My team and I have been working on an alternative method that will actually send someone back in time to the past, where they can directly affect the timeline and help to guide it along the desired path. We've been running some basic scenarios that leave us quite hopeful that we can aid in the original attacks on ancient Iconia to ensure there are no survivors for us to deal with in the present.
We cannot sustain this war. The Iconians will destroy or conquer every species in the galaxy if we do not stop them now. There is no guarantee that this plan will work, but if we do not try, we'll certainly lose everything. Our long-range sensors have detected signs of transit from the Iconian spheres. The Iconians must be preparing their heralds for another large-scale invasion. We are gathering our remaining forces to make our stand. The Iconians have picked our next battlefield, and it is the Sol System. If Earth falls, we have lost this war. We have one move left to us, and it is to move this war to a battlefield of our own design. We will attack the Iconians in the past. We've identified that the Iconians were forced from their homeworld in an attack 200,000 years ago. We will take part in that attack and ensure there are no survivors to fight us in the present. Noy's team is busy reconfiguring the time ship. There are no guarantees, even with time travel on our side. We must hold out long enough for a ship to pass through a temporal portal. That means fighting this fight, and every other, until this technology is complete.
Captain, this goes against everything we stand for. Everything we've been fighting for.
You talk of honor, and duty, and freedom. All of these will just be words if we fail. We can try to live up to these ideals when we survive. I've gotten word from Nori. They've completed their modifications, and the Krenim time ship is on its way. We must hold off the Heralds long enough for the Krenim ship to arrive and generate a portal. Once the portal is open, we will go back in time to ancient Iconia and try to change history. But first, we must survive long enough to do so.
Enterprise here. We've intercepted a group of Heralds. Can you give us a hand with them?
This is the USS Hood. Our attack group is taking heavy losses.
RRW Vivetrix responding to your call for assistance, Hood.
integrity. We need someone on damage control, or we may lose them before the ships and dock can mobilize.
is intact. Bring in the Fight 99th Attack Wing and the...
This is ESP Control. We're losing life support and transporters are offline.
First spacecraft is lost main tower. We're evacuating the crew.
told you I'd be back. And this time, I brought friends.
We've brought together forces from every quadrant of the galaxy. And you've done the impossible.
Happy to see me. It doesn't look like things have been going too well so far. I left because I needed to find allies for this war. Ones who you couldn't or wouldn't talk to. The Dominion understands the Iconian threat, and they are quite eager to protect their stake in this galaxy.
The Herald ships are regrouping. We should use this respite to our advantage. Form up at the KIS Anarax. We must protect it long enough for it to activate a time portal. Once the portal is stabilized, we can use it to go back to Iconia's past, and hopefully undo this war before it starts. Our situation is desperate. If we fail here, Earth will fall, and Kronos won't have much hope of standing without it.
I am arriving with the time shield. We must protect it until the portal is safe. The Iconians off of us. Temporal coordinates have been identified. Creating a bridge across space-time. A bit longer, symbolizing the temporal portal so that ship can travel through it. Enter it now! The time portal is open and stable.
Go! Get through that portal!
Setting a course now.
The heralds are firing on the portal!
The portal is destabilizing. Hurry!
More gateways! An Iconian flagship is moving in!
This is the moment of your extinction.
Not today. Everyone, form up and cover our six.
Theirs not to make reply. Theirs not to reason why. Theirs but to do and die. Into the Valley of Death rode the 600.
Evaluating astrometrics. Confirmed. We have traveled back approximately 200,000 years. Only our two ships made it through.
There are no signs of Captain Cogran or his ship. We will have to continue the mission without him. Perfect. This will give us a moment to get our bearings and figure out how best to prevent the Iconians from escaping their doom. There are only 12 Iconians that we've encountered, so trying to deal with just those 12 will be a much easier task than trying to take on this whole world.
Greetings of the whole to you, strangers, and welcome to Iconia. My name is Matararen, and I am a herald of Matara. Before I can allow you to pass, I must scan you to ensure that your technology is of a sufficient level for you to be allowed access to our city. This will only take a moment. Your technology is sufficient, but your chronoton particles are substantially out of phase. Please follow me. You must speak to my mistress.
Remember why we are here. Every Iconian must die in the bombardment, and their technology cannot be taken. If even one Iconian escapes, this could all be for nothing. I recommend we begin by infiltrating their government building. We need access to their data and the gateway controls. You've seen the ruins of a once mighty empire. This is Iconia at the height of its power.
I apologize for the interruption, Honored One. These travelers have just arrived at our city. Their chronoton particles are out of phase, and per your instructions, I have brought them to you.
Thank you, Mataran. You may return to your station. Greetings, friends, and welcome to Iconia. It is highly unusual to receive visitors with such unusual chronoton signatures, and yet we have had 2 in less than a cycle. Do you know a being named Cogran? Wonderful. He will be quite pleased to reunite with you. You should be able to find him in the residential district. I imagine you passed through the same chronoton-charged nebula he did. That would account for the anomalous readings. Since you are explorers like Cogran, I suggest you speak to Lemiran. She is the keeper of our world heart, a repository of all knowledge and a genetic record of the worlds we have visited. The astrometrics data in the world heart could prove quite useful to you. Do you have any questions?
Greetings, travelers. Are you explorers, or do you come seeking our wisdom and guidance? Either way, I apologize. I am rather occupied at the moment. Please, return later. I should have time to speak to you then.
The changes we see in the Iconians are too great to be simple evolution. The Iconians shape themselves and the Heralds into weapons. Genetic engineering that is both efficient and terrible.
You made it. Something must have gone wrong as we entered the portal that disrupted synchronization. I arrived 2 weeks ago. I remained cloaked, scanned the planet for several days, and then came to the surface as an explorer, seeking to open diplomatic relations with the Iconians. My ship is using the magnetic fields above the poles to help conceal its presence. The Iconians of this time are nothing like the ones we know. They are flesh and appear to be friendly and peaceful, if a bit arrogant with those they see as lesser. Come. They will allow us to move through the city freely. You should see this for yourself.
Cogran is either a fool, or he's being manipulated by the Iconians. Either way, he might jeopardize the mission. We'll need to watch him closely.
Clearly the Iconians have a highly developed sense of the aesthetic.
That's fine, but what we need is to know more about their technology. And we're going to...
When you have technology as advanced as the Iconians, wonders can be found anywhere you look. We should talk to that officer over there.
I see you are interested in this device. We are testing a new method of encryption. So far, it has proven to be most effective. To access the console, you must solve a series of problems that we believe only an Iconian could answer. Unfortunately, I fear the console is stuck in a testing phase, which is why I am protecting it. It may be a waste of time. You appear intelligent enough, but I doubt you or any of our other visitors could solve even the easiest of problems in the algorithm. I am not supposed to leave this area unwatched, but all of my heralds are performing other duties. And if Elmiran sent you, very well. Thank you, Traveler. I will not be long.
Just as I surmised. The Iconians are following their own version of the Prime Directive. They are attempting to protect lesser developed species from acquiring technology that they may not use wisely or well.
Not so fast. We've only heard one side of the story. I'd like to know what some of the other visitors here think about the oh-so-noble Iconians.
We haven't made much headway trying to reverse engineer the gateways, but just imagine what we could do with it.
Oh, I have. You could move an army in the blink of an eye. Think about what would happen if all these heralds just showed up on your planet. Oh, they'd take over in a day. I'm still trying to acquire some of their data. Have you had any luck yet?
Nothing yet. Despite all their openness and hospitality, the Iconians have everything on lockdown. I can't even get near the building where they keep the world hard without some herald stopping me.
We will gladly give you the medicines you require, but our genetic engineering technology is off limits.
The medicine will help with this plague, but what about the next one? We need the ability to take care of ourselves, but you won't give us the means to do so.
I am sorry, but we have extremely stringent rules about who can use our technology. There are many species who are not yet ready to use our gifts safely and wisely. One moment, Volkar. Yes? May I help you? Yes, I will take your opinion under advisement, but ultimately, this is an Iconian matter. You are simply another visitor on our world.
If I were the Iconians, I too would think twice about giving people like these advanced technology.
This doesn't prove anything. So the Iconians have their reasons for withholding technology. I don't care, and neither do their enemies. We know the bombardment is imminent. This world will be obliterated, no matter how much you sympathize with the Iconians. And don't forget what we're here to do. There can be no survivors.
Someone's calling for help.
An injured herald. This could be a chance to learn about their physiology. Perhaps even find a weakness.
Hello. Can you help us? My herald is injured. and I cannot leave him. I need someone to bring us some healing supplies. Thank you. There should be a healer nearby.
Do you require assistance, visitor?
Certainly. However, I do not detect any injuries or maladies in your physical form. What do you require? Oh, of course. It is our duty and privilege to care for our heralds. I will follow you to the patient.
We'll see who the lesser race is.
I have spent days among these people. They are very proud and very strong.
Thank you, Traveler. I appreciate your assistance.
The Iconians' affection for their pets is a weakness. We can exploit that.
I am not so sure. After all, we've seen how the Iconians will transform their pets. The Heralds are merciless killing machines. They have killed multitudes during this war.
Deaths that we will avenge here. No more waiting. We need to finish our mission. I don't understand why you're bothering to help these people. We need to find the gateway controls, sabotage them, and be done with it. This could all be over if you'd let it.
Tell your ships to drop into orbit above the polar region. My ship is cloaked there.
Excuse me, but I require assistance. We have lost contact with several of our colony worlds. I am attempting to increase the range of this communications console to re-establish the connection. But I need another set of hands to adjust the frequency while I attempt to dial in the proper network levels. All of my heralds are currently working on the evacuation. Would you be willing to help me? Curious. Our communications should be reaching the colonies, but I am not receiving any response to my messages. Something terrible must have happened. We were not concerned about the lesser races. Not at first. They were like children who wanted things they could not understand. It was our duty to protect them, to guide them. In time, when they were ready, we would have shared all of our gifts. I do not know. If the colony worlds have fallen, then I am sorry. Please excuse me. I must speak to our leaders.
We already know the evacuation did not save them.
But the gateway on New Romulus remained active for a time.
Then we must cut off that path, now, before anyone escapes.
Welcome, Traveler. I apologize for my earlier absence. Do you have questions about our world? The attack is beginning. I thought we'd have more time. We must retrieve the world heart and escape. Will you help us?
The attack is beginning. We must decide how to proceed. I have spoken to these people, walked their streets, shared their meals. Regardless of what we know they will do in the future, the Iconians of this time are not evil. They are peaceful. And they are guilty of no crimes, worse than standing up for their ideals. The very same ideals, I might point out, as the Federation's prime directive. You have walked the same streets as I, spoken to the same people. Can you allow them to die for crimes they have not yet committed? For my part, I find no honor in cold-blooded murder.
It doesn't matter what these people are now. We know what they will become, what they will do. The Iconians will destroy my homeworld. They will bomb the Archive in the Lena system and exterminate the Preservers. They will incite the Undine to destroy Keswick 4. They will attack our homeworlds, kill those we love, and threaten our very existence. And that changes nothing. We know what will happen. In our time, they are poised to destroy or enslave the galaxy. There is no choice. We destroy them now and save ourselves. It's a bit late for second thoughts. Our mission is clear. We don't have a choice. We're here, and we will do what needs to be done. Atone for your sins after you've saved the galaxy.
The World Heart contains all of our knowledge and all our genetic data. With it, we can rebuild. We have a refuge built for those who serve us. We shall go there.
We should be able to access the Gateway network from here. We could disable all of the gateways at once.
We offered Lemirin our aid. There is no honor in striking down an ally from the Hive.
The honorable thing would be to complete our mission and save our galaxy. Or do you not care about what happens to Kronos?
We need to transfer the World Heart to a transportable format. I'll need your help to initiate the download from that console. The download is proceeding, but it will not complete before the invaders find us. To release the magnetic interlocks holding the core. I need you at the other console. More invaders. They must not take the World Heart. The mainframe memory banks. I will require your assistance. More aliens are coming. Erased. The last step is to eject the World Heart. that was just the beginning of the violence. My people are few, and most of our heralds are elsewhere. Defeating a significant force would be costly to both sides. I know you are not one of the whole, and I have no right to ask for your assistance. But would you help us evacuate the city? Blessings of the whole upon you. We must gather as many of our people as possible and escort them to the gateway platform. Once we are there, I will open the path to our refuge. Many of our people already left for Colony Worlds, but we have lost contact with them. I fear the worst. I recommend we locate Tiket. She is our protector, and there are none who know the ways of our enemy as well as she. Tiket is a fearsome warrior and has kept our people safe for countless millennia until today.
Rescuing Iconians is not what we're here to do.
Perhaps it is. When we came back in time, we did not know what we would find.
I appreciate your efforts, stranger, but I cannot come with you. I will defend Iconia until my final breath. Your words have merit. If we go to the refuge, we can rebuild. There, we can plan our vengeance. No one will ever threaten us again.
She is a fool. She would let her people die so she could avenge them.
Vengeance is a powerful weapon.
We will never forget this tragic day.
Thank you. You have shown exceptional kindness and valor in this trying time. I will miss my home. Iconia is precious to us, but as long as the whole survives, we can use the world heart to rebuild.
Are not a warlike people.
Not yet. That will change.
Blood affects everyone differently. My people became warriors when an alien species threatened our home.
And the Iconians will become conquerors. I see you. We've won their confidence, gathered them together. Strike now, and we can eliminate them all.
The gateway is damaged. To reroute the power and reinitialize the gateway open sequence.
Didn't the others save the Iconians? Where are they?
They may already be here. We're losing ground!
We can't hold them off for...
That's it. Send them through.
No! This isn't our mission! You took everything from me!
The World Heart.
There's no time. The gateway is closing.
Only 12 of us are left. That crystal contains our civilization.
Sheila, stop! We are better than this!
I will remember this, Romulan. I will extinguish your people in payment for your treachery.
This has all played out this way before. I am the cause for Hobus. I know what you were going to say, but I did what I had to do for my people. I should have acted sooner. If I had, perhaps Romulus would have been restored. That can't... Taket! What have I done?
The Iconians have fled to Dewa 3, and the Gateway's console has been destroyed, so no one can follow them. Our fate may not have changed from our actions here, but we have done what honor demanded. We are not murderers. Whatever our future may hold, we will face it with our eyes open and our heads held high. We must return to our own time and see what effect our actions had.
We're initiating a tachyon burst to reopen the portal that brought us here. That should bring us back to the exact moment we left the present time.
The Heralds are firing on the portal!
The portal is destabilizing! Hurry!
Captain Cagran to Alliance Field. Stand down. I repeat, stand down. You have the World Heart and the means to end this. Signal the Iconians, show them we have it, and that we are the ones who save them. This is our last chance to end this war.
Do you wish to surrender? A wise decision. How did you acquire that? That is not possible. But yet, I see the World Heart in your hands. It is time to end this. Your leaders, our unity. Now. escaped Daywar 3, protecting ourselves became our sole purpose. We transformed ourselves, our whole, even our heralds, to prevent another tragedy. And we vowed never to trust again. I did, and it saved us. But we believed the other lost to us. And you were lost to time. And we preserved the whole by any means necessary. Indeed, we protected the whole against the lesser species who would destroy us if given a chance, who would steal what we would not give freely. And we did not mourn the deaths of those who were not a part of our unity. And then we faced you, a foe who would not yield, who subverted time itself in an attempt to destroy us. But instead, you showed compassion, even though you knew what would happen to your people if we survived. You helped us, because that is who you are. I am humbled in the face of such integrity. I shall be forever grateful to you for showing us the error of our ways.
I will not accept this. Whatever these creatures did in the past is meaningless. They took my mom. They killed our sister. They broke our unity. And for that, I will destroy them. I will never forget what you have done, or what that creator, the receiver, did. There will never be enough blood to wash away my need for vengeance. A single world. I can destroy 1,000,000 worlds, and it would not be enough. Your existence is an insult to the memory of our people. I will continue my fight, even if I must fight alone.
She will not listen. Tiket has always been very stubborn. In a few thousand years, perhaps, her attitudes will change. Until then, be wary. Tiket is a formidable opponent, and I will not take up arms against her, even in defense of the other. But with those of us who remain, you shall have peace. But we ask only for our home world. Leave Iconia and our servants undisturbed, and we will trouble you no longer. I understand, but our terms are not negotiable. We need time to breathe and contemplate. Perhaps in a millennia or two, it will be different.
I don't know what to say. I thought I was protecting our future. But instead, all this... It happened because of a mistake I made hundreds of thousands of years ago. I've made a lot of difficult choices in my life. And I didn't always consider the consequences of my actions. Today has made me wonder if there's another way. If I can be better than I am.
I thought this was it. The last day. And I was ready, but I'm glad my daughter didn't have to die in defense of the Federation. That I get to go home after this. We all do. Thank you.
We have much to do, but first, we will celebrate. Let the blood wine flow now that the bloodletting has ceased. There is more to being a warrior than vengeance and death. True honor comes from doing what is right, despite the personal cost. The Iconians will depart, and we will rebuild. Mercy has triumphed where weapons could not. Now I will try to find a way to share this wisdom with my people. Many warriors have fallen in this war. Those of us who remain must walk the path of honor.
Your compassion has accomplished more in one act than we could have with all the phasers in the fleet. Honor and selflessness have been almost forgotten over the past few years. That needs to change. It's time to act like Starfleet officers again. We have a lot to do to heal the wounds the war has left on us all. But we've survived the Borg and the Dominion. We can survive this.
There's a lot of work to be done now. We need to rebuild, recover, try to learn how to live in this new reality. But with people like you on our side, I know we can do it.
The war is over. Although we could not turn back the clock and restore the lives that were lost and the planets that were ravaged, we have ended the conflict honorably. You made the right choice. And that is not always an easy one to make. I would be honored to fight by your side again. Before that day comes, however, we must rebuild. There is already talk of new exploration missions. Perhaps we will find our next challenge among the unexplored stars.
We've detected an anomaly in the Azure network. Because of the Tholian activity in that area, we're concerned that they may be attempting to open a rift to the mirror universe. I need a ship to go out there and check it out.
you have a question.
Thank you, Captain. The Tholian Assembly appreciates your loyalty. So many ship captains threw away their lives needlessly in the days after they annexed this area of space. It'll take a few hours to offload your cargo. Feel free to grab a hot meal in the commissary. I know that comforts can be hard to come by in this sector. I recommend the plomeek soup. It almost tastes like something.
Do you need anything else?
Haven't seen you around here before, Captain. Got a minute to talk? I know. I asked around about you, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you this, but I need your help. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Not in this timeline, I mean. My ship, my crew, we were supposed to do something important. We went through an anomaly. Moved through time, and everything changed. We tried to go back. I guess the battle with the Klingons disrupted the anomaly. Instead of getting back where we belong, we ended up here with the Tholians running everything. I'd never even seen a Tholian before. You have to help us set things right. You have to help us get back to our ship. Me and my crew. There are a little over 100 of us here, scattered throughout the work camp. We're about 65 years ahead of where we should be, according to my math. We were fighting the Romulans. This was back in 2344. And the weapons discharges caused a temporal rift. We passed through, and because we weren't at Narendra to do what we were supposed to do, the timeline changed. We ended up in a timeline where the Federation and the Klingon Empire were at war. The Federation was losing, badly. We tried to go back to set things right, but then the Klingons found us and the Enterprise D. There's someone here with us from that timeline. Her name is Tasha. I'll take you to her. Maybe she can help explain this.
We need your help. My name is Tasha Yar. I was Chief Tactical Officer of the USS Enterprise D. In my timeline, we were fighting a war against the Klingons, and I was proud to do my part to protect the Federation. What I learned, though, in the correct timeline, history as it should be, I died a meaningless death. I accepted the risks when I put on the uniform, and I don't regret what happened. But if I'm going to die, I want it to mean something. That's why I chose to go back with the Enterprise C. I know this is a lot to accept, but you have to trust us. I'm from Starfleet, and if I'm right, that's a name that should ring bells with you as well. In an alternate timeline from this one, the correct one, Starfleet is still alive and well, and you're a Starfleet officer too. When the Enterprise C moved ahead in time, it created an alternate timeline, one in which I was alive but shouldn't have been. I left with the Enterprise to set things right. We thought we were returning to the Narendra system in 2344 to defend the Klingon colony there from a Romulan attack. We ended up in this nebula in 2409. The Tholians caught us before we could try again, and you can guess the rest. We're going to try to restore the timeline, but to do so, we need the Enterprise C. It's still in the hangar here, and as soon as we get back to her, we'll find the temporal rift and get back to where and when we're supposed to be. To do that, we need your help. Franklin Drake is already helping us. He managed to get an access key used to operate the systems in the hangar control room. We need you to get the code from Drake and use it to open the doors to the hangar control room. I'd go myself, but we've already been here a week. The Tholians know we're trying to get back to the ship. They're watching us. But you're new. They won't suspect you're involved. That's the idea, at least. Of course, it's not as simple as getting the code and opening the door. The Tholians have guards on all critical areas. You'll need to slip past the guards and get into the maintenance tunnels. From there, it's a winding maze to the hangar control room, which can only be unlocked from the inside. Once you get in, you'll be able to open the doors. We'll be waiting there to help you free the Enterprise. Here, take this communicator. It's on a scrambled frequency the Tholians don't monitor, and it'll allow me to contact you while you're on the move. Maybe you can convince someone to cause a distraction. That might make slipping past the guards into the tunnels easier.
Take it. Here's a map, too. You'll need it in the tunnels. I still don't know why I'm risking my neck for this. Don't expect any more help from me. The Federation fell before I was born. I shouldn't even care, but there's something about Yar and Castillo. I know they believe they can make a difference. Makes me want to believe. Do you need anything else?
I will be free. Your plan is foolhardy. If you want to die, do it without my assistance.
How can I assist you? I don't remember the Federation or Starfleet. The war was almost over before I was born. This is the only life I know. One of servitude, deprivation, loss. I want something better. That freedom my parents and grandparents told me about. I want the Federation back. I'll help. Just tell me what you need. Don't pretend you can't hear me. We won't be your slaves. Fight me! Let's rumble! Loyalty to the Tholian Assembly will be rewarded. You cannot win, Tholian.
Well done. Those maintenance tunnels are a maze. They make navigating the Jeffries tubes on the Enterprise look easy. I recommend using the map to keep track of where you've been, what doors lead away from which room, and where you are currently. are Tholians in the control room. When they're in there, they pump in a Tholian-friendly atmosphere and raise the temperature. It will kill us if we try to enter. You'll need to replace the methane-based atmosphere with something we can breathe and lower the ambient temperature in the control room before we can continue as planned. The Tholians are very precise. They want to learn everything they can about the ships they're capturing. All rooms connected to the hangars have their atmospheres exchanged to prevent damage to the systems they're dismantling for study. Also, sometimes they force humanoids to do the work for them, so they'll pump in something we can handle. Looks like the Enterprise C's transporters are still online. We can beam the rest of the crew onto the ship before we leave.
We need to work together. What do you want me to do? I was the helm officer on the Enterprise before everything went to hell, but I'm really handy with heavy machinery, like those clamps holding the ship. I know I could take care of those and get us free. If you need me to do something else, maybe I could work on that web shield. It will need to come down before we can fly out of here. Or the ship's power. I know every inch of the old girl. If I could figure out the Tholian interface, I might be able to connect to the ship and restore the power remotely. We need to work together. What do you...
I am here to assist. My first posting in Starfleet was to an ambassador-class vessel. I am familiar with most of the ship's systems, but I spent several months working on a refit of the ship's computer. I am confident I can restore the ship's power levels quickly. Also, I do have some experience with Tholian technology from my time in the Resistance. If you prefer, I could attempt to deactivate the web shield or tractor beams. I am here to assist.
We don't have much time. I know a few tricks to take that tractor beam system offline. We don't have much time. Overriding security protocols. I'm changing the targeting subroutines for the tractor beams. Tractor beam is disabled. I thought you deactivated all the security protocols. Do you want me to do that for you? I know a few things about force fields. Having trouble? You do know that we could have Tholians swarming us any minute, right? I thought we took care of everything. Starfleet Protocol 547C clearly states...
I don't think the Tholians have heard of Protocol 547C.
Captain, I'm detecting Tholian mesh weavers headed for our position.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Tholian orb weavers on an intercept. Tholian recluses moving into weapons range. I recommend you face off. Tholian tarantula on center. Nowhere and destroyed that Tholian tarantula. I've never seen a ship of that configured.
We took a hit. Phasers are partially offline.
Looks like you can use some help. The way is clear, and the temporal anomaly has been stabilized. Head for the anomaly, Enterprise. It will put you back where you need to be. That's my job. The details aren't important. Restoring the timeline is. Get moving. The Tholians are already starting to regroup. I'm sure you've realized by now, you're part of a very different timeline. This one is an aberration that we are here to correct. It would be irresponsible of us to let you go back in time with the Enterprise C, and compromise that timeline as well. We'll send you back to your time. There are still some very important events in the 25th century that you need to be a part of. As soon as the Enterprise C returns to its correct place in history, the timeline should right itself.
There wasn't anything there. That's strange.
We've detected significant temporal activity in the Galorndon core system, circa the 23rd century. I'm going to investigate it, and I'd like you to join me. We believe the Nakul are involved, along with a planet killer, a doomsday machine. If so, we need to stop them at all costs. I'll provide your ship with holographic camouflage. It's best if the Romulans of that time don't see a vessel from the future. Stay safe out there. We need to address the Galorndon core situation soon. The timeline is secure at the Thank you. I've also transmitted files that will establish your cover identity as Tal Shiar security operatives. You'll need to put this data into their local network before entering the research facility, however. There's a comms satellite nearby that you can use to accomplish this.
Tal Shiar vessel, cease all sensor scans of the device immediately. You do not have the proper clearance.
IRW Mareri, this is Galorndon Station Command. Please transmit your security credentials. Data received, Mareri. Welcome to Galorndon Core. Sending you transporter coordinates now. I've taken the liberty of informing Commander Chulak. I'm sure the Director will want to greet you personally.
Doomsday machines seek and destroy planetary bodies, consuming what remains as fuel. And yet, there's one in orbit just sitting there, peaceful. It looks like reports of the Nakul gaining the ability to control the machines are accurate. We need to find out how, and fast. Your holographic disguises should conceal you while you search the facility. Good hunting.
This area is restricted. You need to leave. Now. My orders are clear, Romulan. No one is to pass this point until the meeting is concluded. No one, not even Chulak himself.
Sub-Commander, it is my duty to inform you that this area is restricted. Sir. Yes, Sub-Commander. At once. Forgive my rudeness. Access granted. Let me get the door for you. Sub-Commander, I've been instructed to grant you access to this facility. Of course, Sub-Commander. My family is a friend to the Tal Shiar and loyal to the Empire. Access for you and your team is granted.
The Senate has dispatched an Krog's mysterious backer, the so-called envoy. My researchers have analyzed the Nakul weapon data. It matches a report we have on an incident in Federation space. Krog arrives tomorrow, along with a reportedly improved weapon. I believe the envoy will be making an appearance as well. Sub-Commander, if this doomsday weapon lives up to the Nakul woman's boasts, it will ensure the Empire's dominance over the entire quadrant. The Federation and the Klingons will have no choice but to bend the knee to Romulus, or face annihilation. Of course, however, even a cornered beast knows when it has lost.
Greetings, Sub-Commander. I knew it was only a matter of time before the fabled Tal Shiar came to call. The Nakul have brought a glorious weapon to your empire. You won't be disappointed. I can assure you. This one shall, Sub-Commander. Beyond measure.
Your attention, please. Let's begin, shall we? We thank Specialist Krog of Nakul for joining us. We have concerns about the dangers involved with this weapon.
You have nothing to fear from the machine, my friend.
Would you be so confident if you were here, Envoy?
Utterly so, Commander. Soon, the Doomsday Machine will bring our foes to their knees.
Bold words, Envoy. We shall see, won't we?
It would seem a demonstration is in order. See to it, Krog.
As you wish. Shall we, Commander?
Very well. Show me what this beast of yours can do.
It will be my pleasure.
Enjoy the show, interloper. They are using holographic disguises. Guards, deal with them.
Enemy targets on center. Personal shield losing power.
We're trying to get our computer to interface with that Nakul control console, but their tech is quite advanced. I need at least 5 minutes to integrate it.
Your uninvited guests will make a fine target for the weapon, Chulak.
Almost got this console working. Activating shutdown protocol. Now.
Target shield has failed.
Something is wrong. It's not working.
It's firing indiscriminately.
Enough! It's only a matter of time before that thing destroys the planet! All ships! Destroy the Doomsday weapon and the cool ships!
ask twice.
The Nakul ship must have detonated within the Doomsday Machine. Disrupted it somehow. This must feel like a Pyrrhic victory at best, too. An occupational hazard, I'm afraid. I'll be fine. What matters is that Chulak and his allies would have killed billions had their plan succeeded. Instead, his life is a cautionary tale, forever disgraced by his loss here today. We stopped them this time, at great cost. Clearly, the Nakul and their leader, this envoy, are willing to do anything to win this war, even commit genocide. It's unfortunate that Chulak didn't stand up to the Nakul sooner. It might have prevented this tragedy today. There's been a temporal disturbance in the 27th century. It's happening in the Lurs system. Vorgon mercenaries are targeting a scientist named Cal Dano. This is big. We must keep Dano and his research out of Vorgon hands. I've transmitted the temporal coordinates. Meet me there. Do you have any questions? Time shift complete. Permission to come aboard? Cal Dano is stationed here at a Daystrom Institute research facility. The Vorgons may already have what they came for. Bring us into scanning range. We need to find out. He's a brilliant scientist who recently completed work on a quantum phase inhibitor known as the Tox-Utat. While it was designed for peaceful purposes, the Tox-Utat could be a powerful weapon in the wrong hands. Hands like those of the Vorgons. Highly likely the Vorgons are at Cal Dano's research facility trying to get what they want. I'll take point on this one. I need you to keep an eye on that Vorgon ship and its crew. They might send reinforcements, or open fire from orbit. The Vorgons have cornered Cal Dano. Engaging them now.
Baratas, commander of the VSV Aberel. You are interfering with the private matter that does not concern you. Identify yourself.
My name is Azure. Baratas and I pursue a researcher named Caldano, and have been for some time. He has created a weapon of mass destruction. A very valuable weapon. The Toxutat and its maker will be ours. Our reinforcements are en route. You should not have interfered.
Caldano's safe. For now. We're ready to beam up. Caldano must fulfill his personal destiny. I've given him my time ship to do so. Please clear it for launch. Trust me on this. I can always get another ship. More Vorgons. We need to cover Cal's escape. Almost there. Just keep the Vorgons busy a bit longer. He made it. My time ship is safely on its way.
Setback. Your interference will not keep us from Caldano or the Toxutat. History can be changed, as you will see.
The Arborel just engaged a temporal drive. They're gone. The Vorgons know a lot about the Toxutat and its history. They'll want to reach a pivotal point in its timeline. There! I have them. Reading a new temporal ripple. In the year 2152. Unfortunately, I can't ask Captain Archer to be involved in this, so if you don't mind. Temporal course. Time ship, or what's left of it, is currently on Enterprise, along with the body of Caldano. He wound up here after a temporal incident that ended his long life and career. The Vorgons don't know this, however. We can't let them endanger Enterprise or her crew. Also, we should stay out of Enterprise's sensor range. They haven't detected us yet, but let's not tempt fate.
History shows you have a habit of meddling in the affairs of others.
We believe it is time to break you of that habit.
Unidentified vessels. You are temporal anomalies. You do not belong. Your Chronicon signature matches a vessel we seek. We will know why. Submit to investigation, or you will be purged.
Tholian Captain, we are not aligned with these interlopers. In fact, we would be happy to ally with you against them.
The Lion's proposal refused. You are anomalous. They are anomalous. You will all be purged.
Rescue team on its way to aid the Dakir. We should leave before they arrive and ask questions we're not prepared to answer. Scanning for the Vorgons now. Ah, of course. They're heading to the Risa system in 2366. The Toxutot was buried there, and it's about to be discovered by Jean-Luc Picard. That's the official record, yes. Truth is, Captain Picard realized the scientific value of the Toxutot and faked its destruction to fool the Vorgons. It worked. Until now. I'm reading a new disturbance. Sol System 2375. They know where it is. Course locked in. Are you ready for transit? The Toxutot is here, in a high-security vault under Starfleet command. I assume the Vorgons are taking advantage of the chaos and the heavy damage to infiltrate the security facility and steal the Toxutot. It held up for quite some time. I suspect our Vorgon friends are getting some help. History shows them giving up the hunt after their failure at Risa. Let's take advantage of this lull in the battle to beam down, while we still can. Are you ready to beam down to Starfleet HQ?
In orbit, the Federation fleet has engaged the Green Invasion Force. Reports from San Francisco estimate casualties in the tens of thousands. Starfleet Command is under heavy fire at this time.
Probably ask that researcher what he knows.
Oh, thank God you're not Breen. This is a nightmare. I think they're heading to the vault. But what's left of my research team grabbed phasers from a security station and decided to hold the line. Against Breen soldiers. Complete, utter insanity. Please, help them.
Thanks for the assist. Anything I can help you with?
The Federation fleet is advancing on the Breen positions, but casualties are high on both sides. Breen shock troops are beaming to locations on Earth where ground combat is the heaviest. Lastly, we have unofficial reports that Starfleet Academy is preparing to be overrun.
Thanks for the help. The Breen thought Starfleet scientists couldn't fight. As you can see, they were greatly mistaken. Funny you should mention that. We have. One of my team picked up 2 Vorgon life signs in the vault on local sensors, just before the Breen came to call. I notified security, for all the good that did. Let me buzz you in. Main access is over here. Damn! This thing's a total loss. I can open up secondary access for you, but you should know, the Breen made it in there. Could be rough going.
Reports of a major strike led by the USS Cairo and the USS Enterprise are coming in. The Breen battle line appears to be breaking down, though heavy ground combat continues at several locations.
brought you this far, and you still won't join me?
No, Envoy. Your war with the Federation doesn't concern us.
Only the Tox Uthot matters. Nothing else. We are not alone in that pursuit, as you can see.
These must be the meddlers that you spoke of, Baratus. Kill them quickly.
We were so close.
Usher! No! No! Envoy! Show yourself!
Having trouble, are we? You see now the depths our foes will go to, Baratus. Join me, and you'll have your revenge. I swear it.
Very well. I will follow your lead, Envoy. For vengeance.
Vengeance, indeed.
I'll be fine. We need to focus. Find the Tox Uthot. I'm afraid that's need-to-know information. And right now, you don't need to know. I'm sorry, but there are things bigger than this to worry about. You did well. However, the Envoy keeps gaining allies. First the Nakul, and now the Vorgons. We've been hearing a name in chatter lately. The Temporal Liberation Front. Sounds like our friends are more organized than we thought. Thankfully, we kept them from Caldano and the Tox Uthot. I don't like to think about what could have happened otherwise. We have discovered that the Sphere Builders have been conducting operations in other universes. They aren't just looking to make changes in time, but in other dimensions as well. Their experiments in the parallel universe have produced results that will aid them in forming expanses here. We need to travel to that reality and stop the Sphere Builder research, while we still can. In 2387, an incident created a quantum rift between our universe and this one. A Romulan ship accidentally traveled here through a singularity. They found themselves in 2233 and later destroyed the USS Kelvin in battle. This caused their timeline to differ from ours. As a result, we now refer to it as the Kelvin timeline. We believe the sphere builders communicate with their operatives through the rift. Yes, in our timeline, they used the Xindi as a proxy force. I suspect they're doing the same thing here with the Klingons. I'm reading multiple spheres under construction in this sector, as well as the wreckage of spheres. I suspect the local forces are trying to prevent an expanse from being formed. This sphere isn't active yet. We need to neutralize it before the builders can create an expanse.
Starfleet Command, this is the USS Yorktown. We are under attack and require...
I do hope you've come to fight, Patok. If not, you may whimper and wait for my blade at your throat.
Reading multiple Klingon life signs on Yorktown's bridge.
Over here. Greetings. I am Science Officer Ocello-18. Thank you for your very timely assistance. Could you see to Admiral Garrett's medical needs? I am currently interfacing with your crew and Yorktown's engineering systems to prevent a critical breach of the warp core.
Thanks. I'm not sure which Starfleet you're in exactly, but I'm guessing you won't mind giving my crew a hand here. The Klingons really did a number on us.
Thank you. I thought we were finished. The Klingons weren't interested in taking prisoners.
head's still spinning. That last Klingon photon hit sent me flying into the ops console. Head first.
Thanks. I hope you're here to deal with these spheres.
We could use some help putting out these fires. Come over here after you put out the last fire. Over here. All right. We were about to begin sabotage operations on the sphere when the Klingons came to call. As you can see, Yorktown and her crew are in rough shape, but that thing needs to be neutralized. Can I count on you and your crew to help us finish the job? Glad to hear it. We've got explosives ready to go, but we'll need to find a proper infiltration point on the sphere. Work with my science officer to make that happen.
Use the starboard console. Together we can triangulate our scanners. Admiral Garrett, I believe we found a suitable location. I have reviewed your proposed infiltration coordinates. They are tactically sound. We can commence operations at your command. Be advised. In previous encounters on board spheres, the occupants have been quick to mobilize their defense forces. Expect heavy opposition.
I'll stay on the Yorktown to assist Admiral Garrett and his crew. We'll monitor your progress from the bridge and provide tactical updates as we can.
Commander! Kill those intruders! Shield losing power.
To date, the most effective Starfleet tactic has been to trigger a critical series of detonations within their power suite. Such disruptions have resulted in destruction of a sphere.
Experiment 2674. Despite attempts to compensate for trans-dimensional drift, the protocol initiation led to universal instability and, ultimately, entropic acceleration. Galactic habitable spaces, 0. Life signs, minimal. Project terminated.
Receiving data. I had no idea the sphere builders were involved in so many alternate realities.
Shield losing power.
You cannot stop our plans!
I was part of the team that devised the sphere neutralization tactics aboard USS Enterprise. After our initial success, I was deployed to the Yorktown to share my expertise on such matters.
Experiment 3331. The Expanse grew at an acceptable rate until it was discovered by the Iconian Dominion Alliance. After intense resistance, we were able to decimate their core systems with targeted micro-expenses. But their desperation assault in subspace led to a complete entropic breakdown and, ultimately, universal disruption. Galactic habitable spaces, 0. Life signs, indeterminate. Project terminated.
This data, they've exterminated entire galaxies with your experiments.
It seems your alliance with the Klingons has been profitable, builders.
It has. Like Vizindi, they are eager for conquest.
However, the technology you have provided destroys as well as creates.
The Resistance has been disruptive to our progress. Your promises appear thin, Envoy.
I assure you, all is going according to plan. Nothing they will do will keep us from our goals.
And yet, I see a familiar disruption has presented itself again.
A minor nuisance. I suggest letting your Klingons do what they do best.
I will deal with this disruption. It's time you learned that you cannot prevail, intruder. You will fall to ruin. You! I have had enough of you! The Tutarians were a peaceful race until your misbegotten alliance committed an act of genocide. We were all but annihilated. Only a scant few of us escaped to safety, lost and forgotten within a dimensional void. The Envoy has given us the means to manipulate events. We had begun to undo the damage you have done to us. Quantum realms such as this are ours to study without risk to our own. And should this realm unravel, there is an infinite number of realms remaining to us. Yes, just as you were willing to do so to achieve your goals, do not presume to judge me, murderer! The Expanse Protocol will wipe you from existence, and with your passing, bring justice to my people at long last.
Something is happening. The sphere is emitting a high level of thermobaric radiation. We must complete our objective at once.
Enemy target on sensor. Shield losing power.
I have finished working on the sphere network. Prepare the final charge for detonation. Final charge deployed. We can return and initiate the detonation chain on your command.
Experiment 4472. Projections indicate increased habitable living area and expanse growth rate. Early estimates suggest a 500% increase. Local resistance, primarily from this realm's version of the Federation, has been crude but effective. Deploying Klingon proxy forces at key sphere deployments should alleviate this concern.
The latest data is local. It corresponds to this universe's quantum signature. Sphere builder ships, inbound.
I will recalibrate our system so we can send detonation signals to the charges. We're going to need to boost our signal to activate the explosives. The low-bearing gas is creating an unusual level of interference, attempting to boost our comm signal to compensate. Calibration complete. I have established a link to the charges on the sphere, ready to activate on your command. Detonations complete. The sphere is neutralized.
Nice work over there.
It was rough for a moment, but you both...
What the?
I'll see you back on the ship, sir.
Most curious. I believe that wound occurred due to a temporal shift. Something has happened elsewhere. A question for another time, perhaps.
In the end, you came through for us. On behalf of Starfleet and the Yorktown crew, thanks.
Indeed. Safe travels to you and your crew.
The Envoy's been busy since our last meeting. I think we can add the Sphere Builders to our list of known TLF associates and members after this encounter. The Builders are no strangers to temporal war. Their experience could tip the balance of power against us. Fortunately, their ability to operate in our dimension is extremely limited. For now. Some time ago, there was a temporal disruption involving the USS Enterprise C. We thought the matter was fully resolved, but there was an oversight. We need to find one of the Enterprise C survivors, a temporal duplicate of Starfleet Admiral Tanay. Until we reconcile her displacement, the timeline is in jeopardy. There's one person in particular that can provide the location of the survivors, Sela of Romulus. We believe she's operating in the Cytor system. Meet me there to search for Sela and enlist her aid. Stay safe out there. If she's here, we'll need to draw her out. Seela's not easily found if she doesn't want to be. In the meantime, there's a structure on one of the larger asteroids, but the mineral content there is making long-range scanning difficult. I recommend we take a closer look. Our intel shows a lot of Romulan activity in the system, in Seela's name. Command believes she's planning an assault of some kind and gathering tactical resources. This looks like an abandoned Tal Shiar base, or what's left of one. It looks like the interior has been stripped of anything useful over an extended period of time. This could be the work of Seela's forces. They've been... Wait! Picking up enemy contacts. Romulan ships decloaking. Romulans are going under cloak. They're disengaging. Those ships were older, but battle-ready and in good repair. It's unusual of them to run so quickly. We should stay sharp. There's probably more of them out there waiting under cloak. In the meantime, we damage their propulsion systems in the fight. They're leaking plasma. As long as they keep leaking plasma, we can follow their trail. They're not trying to lose us. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Unidentified ship, you are trespassing in sovereign Romulan space, and you are outnumbered. Surrender now. Oh, it's you again. No. You are still trespassing in my space, and I could use a new ship for my armada. Fine, we'll talk. Cut to the chase and tell me what it is you want. Ah, I'd wondered when you'd get around to looking for the Enterprise C survivors. When the Enterprise C survivors were taken, my father agreed to let the rest of the crew live, so long as Lieutenant Yar served as his concubine. She was executed, but my father held to his word. I am aware of their location, but I will only take you there. And what assurances do I have that I won't simply be executed? I will not agree to my death. If I agree to this, I will be held in house arrest, somewhere reasonably pleasant by my own standards. I will not be cut off from access to the outside world, and I will not be given any sort of death benefit. Further, you will allow my crew and the ships to go without harassment. The survivors of the Enterprise C were sent to a Tal Shiar prison world. Set a course for the Pictet system. I shall make my way to the bridge of this quaint little ship.
I'm reading several Tholian ships on sensors, along with some unusual temporal fluctuations. Tholians dislike anything involving time travel. We should be cautious. If they think we're responsible, they may become hostile.
This is the Pictet system, one of many worlds where the Tal Shiar would send assets important enough to keep, but not threatening enough to kill. Supplies to this world stopped when Hobus was destroyed. But the Enterprise C crew are proven survivors. I admit, the Tholians being here is new. Surely they won't be too difficult for you to handle.
Do not intrude. The anomaly will be eradicated. Leave now.
Scan on that anomaly. Something caused it to destabilize quickly. Not a good sign.
The anomaly will be crushed, as will you. Vengeance for the fallen.
It was emitting high levels of tachyon radiation and chronotons before it dispersed. I'll need more data, but I think it was an unstable gateway into transdimensional space.
Scan one. I want to see what they were so interested in.
Based on these readings, I believe I've found an origin point for these anomalies. They're coming from the planet below. I suggest sending an away team down to collect data. Signs of habitation, but there's a lot of temporal disturbances down there. They're making it hard to obtain a clear reading at this distance.
Assemble your most able crewmen and... My apologies. This is your ship. You give the orders.
We've beamed down into an open courtyard within what's left of the Tal Shiar prison. Doesn't look like it's been inhabited for some time. I'm reading a number of temporal anomalies nearby, but my tricorder's having trouble analyzing the data. We're going to need to get closer.
The shipments of supplies stopped long ago. Anyone alive down here will have a hard time. I suppose that's too bad for Admiral Tanay. That is what this is about, isn't it? There are two of her and no one else. If you find her, I doubt she will be alive. This world was abandoned by the Tal Shiar decades ago. I doubt there's anyone left. The survivors of the Enterprise C might have left
This datapad
personal
dates back
items
to the
behind.
late 23rd century. It lacks power, but it should work once it's recharged. This place hasn't been inhabited for a while. Thing is, the tricorder's giving a range of time from 3 months to 30 years. We're dealing with some serious temporal flux here. That's one of the temporal anomalies. I wouldn't recommend entering its area of effect. From what I'm reading here, contact with the anomaly will do considerable damage to anything organic. That being said, I believe we can deal with this. Stand over there, and between the two of us, we should be able to nullify the anomaly. Someone's been here recently. The tricorder's picking up numerous signs of habitation in the area. By the look of things, someone stripped this area of all useful items and moved on. This gate appears to have been locked from the outside. Perhaps they knew about the anomaly but didn't have the means to handle it. Ah, there's a manual override over there near our beam-down site. We can use it to open the gates. When we disrupted this anomaly, it seemed to fracture, forcing more anomalies into our timeline. I think we might be able to use that to our benefit, though. I'll stay here and act as an anchor. Find the best spot and use your tricorder to emit the dispersal pattern again. We should be able to push those bubbles away from the gate controls. If you get stuck, I'll be able to get you out of trouble. The gate controls are trapped within an anomaly. We'll have to disperse it to use them. Looks like some of the closed gateways are rusted now. Find another spot. I think I can see a clear path to the controls. The gate's open. Try to disperse where you are. It should open an escape path for you. Excellent. The gate's open, and we can continue our search for Tanae. Well done. Before we move on, I've managed to bring the datapad online again. It might contain clues on what happened. Looks like it's a personal unit. The primary user is Lieutenant Tasha Yar of Starfleet.
Give me that! The first entry dates to 2389, nearly 40 years after she was executed. Or at least 40 years after she was supposed to have been executed. I am Natasha Yar, Security Chief for the Federation Starship Enterprise D. Well, at least that's who I was. For the past 40 years, I've been Tal Shiar prisoner 24601. But even that changed a week ago. Our regular supply drops from the Star Empire stopped 3 months ago. The guards started caring too much about what might be going on elsewhere in the Quadrant and caring too little about their prisoners. We were able to overpower them. We've managed to recover some data pads like this one, but there isn't enough here for us to call for help or escape. I'm leaving this record in case anyone comes looking for us. Sela, if you find this, I still love you. I've missed you.
Lieutenant Yar was supposed to have been executed. My father said it happened. There were witnesses. How can... Clearly, there was some judicious alteration of history. The Enterprise C survivors were here, but something drove them away. Something more than the loss of supplies. We should continue looking for the survivors. Your duplicate of Tanae may yet be alive on this rock. It would not have been the first time. No doubt he thought she might still have been useful in some way. I can see the pity in your eyes. Keep it. His decision allowed me to become the person I am. I do not regret that.
Look! There's a path ahead! This anomaly looks more stable than the others. It's probably less deadly, but let's not find out now.
The generators died and no one knows why. Richard thinks it might have been the big predators. Tanae thinks she might be able to salvage some of the parts. I hope she can. She's been glaring over the remains for the last 3 hours. 2 more dead. I can't stay here. The animals know the fence won't harm them anymore. I rigged an early warning system using a trick I learned growing up on Turkana 4, but that won't stop them. Took a vote, and we're moving. We'll build a new settlement in the old secondary supply bunker the Tal Shiar abandoned 20 years ago. The surviving guard has agreed to guide us there. Loyalty to the Tal Shiar fades when you've been stranded with the inmates.
Lieutenant Yar never discussed Turkana 4. When I was older, I discovered why. She was a survivor. It is clear that her arrangement with my father was just that. Obviously, she continued that trait into her existence here. There's more ground to cover.
There's another unstable anomaly. The anomaly has left some of the rock in a molten state.
You took readings in orbit. Surely we should continue looking. These must be connected to your mission. Now, while you take a leisurely stroll through the jungle, I will be moving on. It appears that there are more survivors than initially believed.
There's a lot of interference, but I think I'm picking up a life sign. Tanae!
Go away! Leave this place!
Shield losing power.
No! Please, not again! Stay away! Stay away!
It seems your duplicate, Tanae, is still alive, and she isn't pleased to see you. I don't really blame her. I wasn't exactly thrilled to see you again, either.
She's run off, but there's an even larger anomaly close by.
It looks like it was a structure at one point, but I doubt any survivors would remain in a
Another
ruin
temporal
like
anomaly,
this.
and this one is larger than the last. There are temporal eddies moving through the area and a few stable locations between them. Now, if you establish temporal stabilizers in these 3 locations, we can disperse the anomaly and get a better look at the area. Hopefully, the Enterprise C survivors were able to escape the area before this happened. There's a stable pocket ahead of you. Set up the first stabilizer there. That's the first stabilizer. 2 more to go. Incredible! Dispersing the anomaly restored more than I expected. We should look for clues.
Found an entire grove of saplings. Richard swears the same area was full of towering trees last week. He might be mistaken. We're both getting older. I thought I saw a Romulan in the brush. He was wearing a 22nd century style uniform. When I looked again, he was gone. Maybe I'm going senile. Richard insists I'm too young. Maybe it's because the outside world has been on my mind. Sela has been on my mind. I wonder what happened to her. While her father was a Tal Shiar general, he spared my life in the end. Perhaps he wasn't petty and cruel to her. I hope he wasn't. If you should find this, happy 50th birthday, Sela. I have missed you. I only regret we were separated. Shelter ruined, last tricorder gone, half our stores destroyed, 5 dead. The hunters and gatherers returned to find many dead and unconscious. I used my emergency medic training, but I was a security officer, not a doctor. Devek might not make it. None of them can remember what happened. Without the tricorder, we can't scan the area or for internal injuries. I suspect that there is something on the planet causing anomalies of some kind. Danae has not reacted well. She's been talking to herself and keeping apart from everyone. A problem for later. Survival now.
Some sort of temporal inversion happened here. Some of the rock returned to an earlier molten state, while some of the building materials aged over 200 years. Anyone standing close to these objects would have been affected as well, regressed to infancy, or aged to the grave.
Well, I suppose it was nice that Yar thought of me. But that doesn't change the fact that she was going to steal me away like a thief in the night. If she had truly cared, she would have stayed where she was. My father was not cruel or petty, at least not to me. He was hard because he needed to be. I thrived because of it. The Enterprise C survivors were surprisingly resilient. Tasha's notes are more sparse but seem to record a productive, if primitive, community. They mention a secondary site close by. If your Vulcan survived, there may be others, and they may be close.
Over here! There's a path with recent footprints. I'm reading another anomaly, further down the path. Tanae might be there.
The Tanae anomaly and its allies must be purged.
That Tholian away team must have beamed down to investigate the anomaly. This looks to be a well-worn path. Some recent footprints here, heading the other way. They might have run into Tholians.
It seems your Vulcan passed this way recently. Perhaps the cavern mentioned in Tasha's logs is nearby. We should follow the tracks. It seems many of the refugees would be alive if it weren't for the anomalies.
I'm detecting signs of recent habitation in this location.
Maybe we'll find more answers.
This was some sort of dwelling up until a few months ago. If I'm reading this right, there was an explosion of tetrion particles here. A fatal one, judging by the organic residue on the walls. No one's been living here since, according to these tricorder readings.
Anomalies are temporal in origin. I watched Richard wither and die before my eyes. An anomaly appeared, and moments later he aged 100 years. We buried him this morning in the clearing. I never expected he and I this way. I miss him. Richard was a wonderful partner for these last decades, a good man. We built a wonderful life, despite it all. My only regret is that Sela never got to know how kind and brave Richard was. He'd have been such a wonderful stepfather. Tanae hasn't been seen in days. I'm worried she won't come back. I'm worried she will. I thought her strange behavior might be a degenerative Vulcan sickness, but she was answering questions before they were asked, and she's been close to every anomaly that's happened. Maybe I'm jumping in shadows. The part of me that is still a security officer on the Enterprise doesn't think I am, though.
This is Tanae. I have agreed to report the final words of Natasha Yar and to hold this log for the future. If there is one, if it isn't here already, What? No! Focus! Natasha Yar died of a fever. She wished for the story of the crew of the Enterprise C to be remembered. They were brave beyond expectation. She wished for her daughter to know that she was loved and that Natasha lived a long and happy life. But Natasha missed her, and she hoped her daughter's life was wonderful. Natasha requests that if this log is found, that this record be conveyed to Sela of Romulus and to the Federation. Do not come near me. End log.
I think I see movement in the bushes. Tanae?
Stop following me! No! Go away! I told you to stay away! I am dangerous. You should not be here. No one can be here. No! Not again! Oh! No! Not again!
There's a new anomaly forming.
Folians!
Purge the anomaly. Purge the contaminant.
Tanae, the anomalies that have been occurring were caused by decades of temporal interference. Because of what happened with the Enterprise C, you exist in two places at once. We can fix this. You and your counterpart can be reintegrated. Your memories will be integrated as well, but the anomalies will stop.
I see the logic in your presence here. I am anomalous. My presence here must be sufficiently reconciled to preserve the order of things. I presume you are here to accomplish this. Thus, I will go with you.
All this time, she was here. I believed she was dead. Tasha believed I might come looking for her. She believed it so strongly she left logs in case. Tanae held her logs for her. And now, she is truly dead. This place has led to some interesting revelations, shall we say? I think it best we leave before more Tholians show up.
Looks like we beamed up just in time. Several Tholian ships are on an attack vector.
It's happening again. Another anomaly is forming.
We will do what he will not. We will repair time.
Failing.
I see you found my displaced temporal counterpart. Well done. An operations team is standing by on this vessel to assist with her temporal reintegration. Please beam her aboard, and we will begin the process. It is possible that I may acquire a new set of memories as part of the process. A small price to pay to stabilize the timeline. As it has been said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. I see. Having read the briefing from Starfleet Command, I find her presence here to be most logical, considering the situation. Very well. I will take custody of Sela and deliver her to a secure facility once the reintegration procedure is complete. Beam her aboard with my temporal counterpart.
It seems our journey is at a parting of the ways once more. I did, and I will. But I have a condition to my surrender. Tell me about my mother.
The timeline is stabilizing. Anomaly counts are dropping, and our agents are reporting a decline in temporal aftershocks due to recent events. That's a good thing, by the way. The aftershocks of our recent discoveries on Pictet may take some time for Sela to resolve, however. I hope she's able to find a sense of peace and closure from what she's learned today. I'll be heading back to Temporal Command once we've fully integrated the two Tenays. Be seeing you.
With the war over, it's time for us to rebuild, to take stock of our situation, and to return to our roots as explorers. We've recently noticed that a star in an unexplored system near Ferenginar has become unstable. There's nothing to indicate any change to its stellar life cycle, so this is a perfect opportunity for us to chart the system, investigate the star, and improve our understanding of what's happening. I want you to head up this investigation. Find out why this star is suddenly dying, and make sure it isn't going to be a threat to any nearby worlds or systems.